All right, our success enlightenment has started kicking off. All right, 2023 we more on tutorial videos. All right, we're doing that comes next 2020, next year 2024. But this is what I have been facing in year 2023. I've had students walking up to me, Mr. Success, why most of the time I face challenges academically. All right. This is what I have to say. All right, when it comes to academic success, all right, most often the time, many students fail woefully, not because they are not diligent now, but just for the fact that the background is not there. And in most cases, the fault mostly comes from the what? From the parents, because you don't really expect a child of 10, 15, in fact, child of 15 years old, yes, I will say, to make right decision for themselves. All right. Most cases, these parents they don't just care, they just want they want their kids to pass for WAEC as early as possible. They go far as getting runs for these students. And what do you expect, for crying out loud? We're already in a society that really has less incentive to operate on a merit. And when you give your kids, your children, your own future incentive to deviate from the merit system, trust me or not, there will definitely be a gap in the academics. But trust me, I'm not saying that academic success is a prerequisite to making it big in life. Trust me or not, there have been a lot of stories, like reality, not fair tale stories, of people who wouldn't even take academics ever serious, and where they are now, where maybe in distant times from now, maybe I might even aim at getting there. But this is what I have to say to you. If you are there and you take your academic performance, take it very, very serious, and you want to improve this year 2024, all right, I will tell you these few steps, and you have to take care of them. Number one, now you have to make sure that you are reading only the relevant materials. All right, the fact that you're already struggling academically means maybe your mental capacity doesn't really accommodate a lot of information. So when you try to read so many materials, you might be such that you get confused easily. So before you just spend 8 hours on a day, 12 hours on a day studying irrelevancies, first spend sufficient time and resources to make sure that you get yourself the relevant materials. Just hold them, and once you've already laid your hand on this relevant material, the next thing you have to do is what? Don't be a student who wants to study once and master everything inside the book. It's not always possible. Not everybody can do that. All right, you might have to read again and read again. And what does that mean? It means don't get stuck reading a topic. Just read it to the end. It doesn't really matter. When you don't read it to the end, you might just have a glimpse of what you read. It doesn't really matter. But the thing is, you are not going to start a semester or an academic pursuit January 2024 and write an exam January 2024, which means you have a time, like there's a time for you to actually master everything requires for the success of your academic pursuit, which means you have to just read. And trust me, your first reading will always be the most stressful one, and that's when you need your most discipline. Most of the time, what I do when I'm studying is I have my phone on flight mode. If not on flight mode, I put it on do not disturb, and I don't pick calls. You call, I don't pick. Even if that call is bringing money in for me, I still won't pick. I have to at least get to my destination before I pick the call. And don't make this mistake. Many times what you do is that you've not really mastered a thing, and you're taking your time, you are teaching your friends, you are teaching your colleagues. Your brain will have a fake confidence that you've actually understand what you have not understood. And by so doing, what you know January 2024, by February 2024, if they ask you to write an examination on it, you've forgotten it. Take your time to master something first, even if you have to teach it. All right, there's a popular myth that goes on that the more you teach, the more you know. It's a lie, because many people out there taking tutorials and teaching all along. What they do is they operate in their running memories, and you don't want to be a man who actually failed to develop himself and is spending time on others to get developed. Trust me, before you have to be a leader, you have to be ahead, which means you have to take something to a mastery before you can actually teach people and create a positive impact in their life. And many times when I see students that they spend time on many of these people who just come to come and teach, or maybe they use their running memory to teach, I shake my head, because trust me, you can't really be better than the inputs you are using. All right, no student has ever made it to be better than his teacher, except he's reading or he have access to a resources, a material that explains the topic better than the teacher knows it. So that's just it. So you can't know it more than who is teaching you. So you have to focus more on getting relevant material. And two, all right, don't try to read it all. Do not read it all. The other information I gave there is for you to be disciplined. Learning is different from what? Teaching. All right, when you are learning, be dedicated to your learning. Take your learning process, take it more serious. Not that you've not mastered a thing and you are there already, Mr. Whatever tutor you. No, it's not like that. Get a mastery first. When you have a confident, a valid understanding of it, yes, that's when you can engage your brain. And as you teach it, then it's not as if you are learning more. As you teach it, then it exposes you to new things, like some things that you never think what you know can be applied to. When you're in class, sometimes you're teaching, you realize that wow, you can really apply it to that, and it helps you from moving away from your theoretical knowledge to applicability of the knowledge. So that's what that does to you. Then don't say because you have a textbook, you have something, and you're not attending classes. All right, if you're an undergraduate in any federal, state, or private university, you have to take your classes serious. See, the only reason you are in that university is for your academics. All right, you might be there and you get involved in so many other things, but that is not to say that for any reason you miss classes. You don't miss lectures, irrespective of how inconvenient the time of the classes is. You just have to be in the class. The reason why you don't miss lecture is that, number one, you are not the one who is going to set your question. Are you? No. Two things is that, are you the one who is going to mark your question? No. You're not the one who is going to mark your question. So if you have a privilege to face a test in life, and at the same time the person that is going to set the question for this test and who is going to mark the test is happen to be taking a class on what he will set, trust me, I don't think you want to miss it for anything in the world, irrespective of the sources you have, irrespective of your subscription to Success Enlightenment YouTube channel. You just have to take your classes serious. All right, you have to be there, be the first. And when you're in classes, always run away from the back seat. Trust me, I'm not saying those who sit at the back, they are not intelligent. Many of them, they end up having higher grade than those who sit in the front, but it doesn't really matter. But if you're sitting in the front, it just increase your focal level. It increase your level of what? Attention in the class, and you get to hear the information more clearly. Sometimes, especially in the situation of a country like Nigeria, where you have more than 200 students in a class that is intentionally built for 100 students. If you're sitting in the back, you already know that even the stress of the lecture is enough for you not to even have an understanding of what they are teaching you. So you have to be the first set of people who enter the class, and you pick your seat in the front. Don't be such lazy type that just your serious friend is going and say, pick a seat for me. No. All right, just go follow the process. You see, your journey to your destination is actually more important sometimes than your what? Than your destination. All right, then the other thing you have to do is what I called psychological intelligence, which is you have to take the grades off your mind. You have to take the grades off your mind. A, B, C, D, E, F. Take them off your mind. Focus on, they taught me this topic, or this topic is in the course outline. I want to be so certain that any question that comes out as far as this topic is concerned, I can handle it. So you just have to take the grade off your mind. And once you take the grade off your mind and you focus on, you can handle this to perfection, trust me, the grades will come naturally, because the grades, you will get them when you are able to pass a question that is set on the topic. All right, so most times when you focus too much on grades, this is what happens to you. All right, this happens to you. You just want to just cover all the topics. It doesn't really matter. You don't want to master a single topic. You just want to cover them, small, just cover them. And at the end of the day, when you go in, the best you can get is a C. The best you can get is a C. I bet it with you, if they give you your lecture notes in the examination, you are allowed to copy and paste. You won't still have an A or a B in any course, because for you to have those grades, you just have to know more than what is inside that class. That's why it is called a tertiary institution. They are there to give you an headline of what you might need to understand. All right, not necessary to give you the few details of what you really need to know. So for you to be an A student, you have to just take it up at notch. Then another thing you have to be very, very careful of is your immediate environment. I mean the class of friends you hold. Now trust me or not, everybody will believe that if Cristiano Ronaldo happens to play all his football career in Sporting Lisbon, he will never win Ballon d'Or. Not talk of having 2-3 Ballon d'Or. He will never win world best player. That's just the obvious fact. If Lionel Messi has never comes to Europe to play, like if he has never played in Barcelona, nobody will know him. That's just the obvious truth of it. Now, what am I saying there is that as good as Kylian Mbappe is, still the fact that he's a player in Paris Saint-Germain is one of the most meaningful reasons why he has not won Ballon d'Or up till now. So what I'm saying is that the immediate environment you surround yourself with is very, very important. Some students like me can actually thrive in any environment because my determination, my dedication is stronger than my environment. In most cases, I know what I want, I know what's important to me, but that might not be your own case. You have to understand yourself. So your environment is important. It is not a crime for somebody trying to make a friend with you. I tell the person, no, like, we can talk, but not like 247 scene. No, you have to actually control who have access to seeing you 247. You have to control those who you spend most of your time with. It's just very, very important because many people are there for very different reasons. So that's how important the friends you keep are. They have the potential. Even if you have all it takes to actually be an A student, the friends you keep in your tertiary institution, they can actually limit you to actually be a C student. And in most cases, right, all right, if you know you are such a student that you don't have much capability, in most cases, some of them, they get attached themselves to the brilliant ones. But when you are with them, you have to be with them not just for your own sake alone. All right, you have to know when you can actually learn from them and where you just have to give them their personal space to learn. All right, that it's not to say you as an intelligent one you have to be greedy, no, or because you are intelligent you can relate with the less intelligent. There you can, all right, you can, but you just have to know that relationship has to have more value as to the goal at the moment, which is to attain what? Educational success. All right, so that's very, very important. Then the next thing you have to be very, very intentional about is your finances as far as the university is concerned. Trust me or not, no matter how intelligent you are, financial brokenness, like when you are out of cash, trust me or not, it will definitely affect your academic performance. All right, very few students have strong psychology, emotionally strong mindset to actually go through the educational process with less fun. All right, but all you have to do is you have to just set out your scale of preference when it comes to your finances. You have to know even the most richest man in your class still lacks when it comes to funds, because funds have an attribute of scarcity. So all you have to do is you have to make sure that number one, when funds enter your account or when you get funds on you, take important. Your feeding is very, very important. You don't want to read on empty stomach. Ulcer is actually very, very real, and once that is taken care of, the next thing you have to look for is what resources do I need money to buy. Don't wait till 2 weeks to exam before you get a textbook you need. And in these modern days, all you need is a working system. You download the PDF of every related topics. In fact, in most cases, people who have really gone far academically, in most cases they download multiple textbooks, and they go and check the topic from each of the textbook, and they study it in all these textbooks before the classes even begins. All right, because you have to prepare. If you don't prepare, the results will definitely be as it used to be. It's as simple as that. All right, another thing that is very, very important, in most cases I don't really support tutorials like that, except you are certain of the quality of the person who is teaching you, because most cases students just go around about doing tutorials on campus just because they have a political ambition. They are just doing it for popularities, and it happens in all universities I've been to. As far as my country is concerned, I don't know of that place you are hearing me for. But what is really important is, if there is something you don't know, you have to have at least people you can actually ask for, people you trust that yes, they know it, that they can always be of help. All right, I can't make a single video and in that video I'll be able to solve your academic challenges, but I believe this video has been able to address a few points as far as your academic challenges is concerned. And if you try all this, it doesn't work for you, or if you try all this, it still has not worked for you, my contact is on this video. Just message me directly. We can have a one-on-one conversation, or we can talk about, I can listen to you, you listen to me. Then trust me or not, we can provide a solution to that. And I believe, trust me, nobody has a brain better than the other. Just believe in that. The only difference between us is that our preferences is different. Another thing is what? Our background is different. Some parents did really put more effort towards some students being a really good student than the others. So, but you don't have to forever live under the shadow of the mistakes you cannot control. You can control now. And what you control now can actually influence your results in the future. All right, feel free to message me. We can have more conversation in respect to that. Thank you once again. I remain myself, Ishola Adedeji Mike, on Success Enlightenment. Enjoy.